Brittany Maynard's 30th birthday is 5 weeks away. She is not planning to see it. We first reported last week on this young woman with terminal cancer. Her story is restarting a national debate over medical aid in dying. Jan Crawford is in Portland, Oregon, where Maynard gave us her first television interview. Jan, good morning.
Well, good morning. Brittany Maynard thinks that she may die before the end of the month. And as certain as she seems to be about ending her life on her terms, there is a lot of sadness and also some fear about what's ahead.
I don't want to die. If anyone wants to hand me like a magical cure and save my life so that I can have children with my husband, I will take them up on it.
She's 29 years old, recently married, and was hoping to start a family. Now, Brittany Maynard is planning her death, choosing to end her life before cancer can destroy her.
I think until anyone has walked a mile in my shoes and knows what they're facing and has felt the, just bone-splitting headaches that I get sometimes, or the seizures, or the inability to speak, or the moments where I'm looking at my husband's face and I can't think of his name.
Maynard found out this spring she has the most lethal form of brain cancer and says doctors told her she may only have 6 months to live. Her medication has drastically changed her appearance, but she's decided to forego aggressive treatment and die, as she puts it, with dignity.
Did you have any pushback from your mother or your family?
I think it took my family a little while to realize that this is what made sense, because no one wants to hear that their daughter is going to die. No mother should have to lose a child. It goes against the grain of nature.
And so many would say, I just want one more day.
Yes.
Don't end it.
But my mother is not
to.
selfish enough to say, I want one more day where you're suffering.
Maynard was raised by her mom, a single mother in Southern California. She had an adventurous spirit and loved to travel. With degrees in psychology and education, she planned to be a teacher.
It seems like now when she's thinking about her death, part of the reason she's thinking about this is also because of the people around her that she loves.
Early on, I told her it would be my honor to take care of you, whichever way. If you need to be fed or diapered, it would be my honor.
Because that's what mothers do. You take care of your little girl.
That was important for me, for her to know.
Did you just think, no, I want her to be here for as long as, even if she's in bed sick, I can lie down with her?
There's absolutely that. The idea of wanting my wife to be at my side forever. That was the original plan, right? But the reality that, I guess that feeds into the argument of quality of life versus just quantity.
Maynard said she's choosing quality. After her diagnosis, she moved to Portland, Oregon, one of 5 states where it's legal for doctors to help terminally ill patients take their own lives. She decided to partner with the leading organization that's pushing other states to change their laws.
I know that it's there when I need it.
She even talked about plans for a specific day to end her life, November 1st, 6 days after her husband's birthday.
So November 1st became kind of a date for me to almost make it to.
It was a goal.
Yeah.
Not a deadline.
That's the idea, and that's a huge misconception, and I feel like people who are against this healthcare choice have tried to make it into a deadline, and I may be alive on November 2nd, or I may not, and that's my choice.
Her candor about death has revived the national debate over physician aid in dying. In a recent poll by the New England Journal of Medicine, 67% of healthcare providers said they oppose the practice, as does the American Medical Association. Many fear it could be abused in cases involving the elderly and disabled. Dr. Daniel Samalsi is a medical ethicist at the University of Chicago.
If I were her doctor, I would certainly try to talk her out of it. I would try to tell her what the opportunities are for her to live to the fullest possible extent that she can, even while she's dying.
But Maynard says it should be her choice how and when to die.
So to the people who would say, well, you're choosing to end your life, that's suicide, you would say, no,
No,
it's
cancer is ending my life. I am choosing to end it a little sooner and in a lot less pain and suffering.
Do you ever just feel like angry?
I have at points. I have less of that now. It's mostly sadness.
Is it sadness of just everything you'll miss? Is that, or is it specific things?
Yeah, it's mostly, I'd say most of my sadness centers around how much I wanted a family. And it feels like, for me, that was always like how you created a legacy, was like through your children. And sort of inadvertently, through sharing my story, I've realized there's a bit of a legacy I'm creating this way, and I'm not ashamed of that. I'm not ashamed to attach my name to what I think is a right that should belong to all terminally ill Americans. I really do.
Now, Brittany Maynard says that she doesn't know when she will end her life, but that she's gotten a lot of comfort just knowing that she can make that choice. And, you know, the interesting thing is, since this law took effect here in Oregon 17 years ago, more than 1,000 people have gotten prescriptions from doctors for drugs to end their life. Just more than half have taken them. Nora?
Jan, really incredible interview. Charlie and Jane and I are sitting here very, very touched by her decision. I mean, she's clearly very courageous. What about what she just talked about with you about her legacy? I mean, now becoming part of this larger movement.
Well, you know, some people have kind of almost criticized her somewhat, and the group that's pushing for changes in these state laws, saying that this group is almost using her and using her story to try to make these changes. And I asked her about that, and she said, you know, they may be using me to bring about these changes in the laws and to encourage wider acceptance of this practice. And I'm okay with that, because this is something that I believe in, and this is something that's important. So if they're using me, fine. I mean, that was kind of her bottom line.
Jan,
Charlie?
thank you. Thank you so much, Jan.